Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Living Big with Big Reg. As you can see, I got the incomparable co-host with me, Mr. Ghost. How you doing today, sir?
You got good at it echoes. Your voice just resounds through the halls.
my bad. All right, my
Nah, I,
bad.
I had I had the stream set up to watch, so
Well, that's a good thing then. So, Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. That's gonna be one of the things we discuss tonight. We'll get into it in a second. First and foremost, if you haven't already, hit the like button, share it, and subscribe. We'll keep the content coming every week, every Thursday, roughly around 8:15. We try to be on time, but you know, I have my struggles here and there. So, Chiefs are Super Bowl champions. I guess the question is, can they be stopped? And if so, by who?
the only person that matters. L Jack.
You know,
He's the only QB. The only name who else gonna do it?
from position perspective, nobody, right? I mean, it seems like no other quarterback has the ability to stand toe to toe with Pat beside Lamar. But Lamar's got something hindering him that Pat doesn't have to worry about. Lamar's got John Harbaugh and EDC. I mean, he's got a smart owner, smart GM, terrific head coach. I mean, they probably can win three, four more, five more rings if they wanted to. I don't see a way Lamar can win. Yeah, I'm not putting that up there. I don't see a way Lamar can win knowing John Harbaugh's gonna be there and having him constantly hold them back. I mean, they're gonna continue to look at this offense as a run first offense, which, whatever. But does that mean you build around run first? Do you go get you a great running back? Maybe. I don't know. From there on, I really don't know. We got Mr. Hendo in the building from the Rogue Pod. How you doing, sir? One of the great content creators out there. If you don't know, now you know. Go check them out. But as I was saying, the Chiefs, it seems like no matter how they win, they just do it, right? They just win. Doesn't matter how they do it, whether it's passing, running, using defense, special teams. It seems like they just know how to get the job done. And to me, that's a sign of obviously great coaching. But where does it stop? It's not like they have one great coach, right? They have what is probably the greatest offensive mind in football today. But then Spags. Somebody's got to give Spags his flowers. This man, now again, he did it with the assistance of John Harbaugh and some incompetence on the Baltimore offensive coaching staff. But he shut down Lamar Jackson. Then he went to the Super Bowl and proceeded to, yes, they gave up over 20 points to the 49ers, but it's Christian McCaffrey, it's Debo Samuel, it's Brandon Ayuk. And you didn't hear half those names I just said, you didn't hear too often in that game, whether it be Brandon Ayuk or Debo Samuel. But Kyle Shanahan did a great job scheming up, trying to get his players involved. It was just a situation of Spags did it better when it mattered the most. I felt like Kyle Shanahan made a mistake going with the passes on 3rd and 4 on not one but two straight occasions. And that to me is what led to the Chiefs winning that game. Because at the end of the day, you can put the ball in one quarterback's hands, no matter what the down is, but you can't put it in the others. And an announcer made a statement saying that Brock Purdy is no longer just a game manager. And I felt like that was 100% wrong. Brock Purdy is exactly that. And he failed to do what he was needed to do with the game on the line, not once, but twice. 3rd and 4 one time around, you pass it, it's incomplete. Now you punt the ball back with over a minute and change left on the clock for the Chiefs. And then the other time, you end up settling for a field goal where you should have got a touchdown to put the game away. Again, 3rd and 4. So you trust your quarterback, and he fails you not once but twice in the biggest moment. So, yes, he is a game manager. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but he's one of the higher level versions of a game manager, right? He can get the job done when needed against certain teams. But in the big games against the best teams, he's going to let you down. And that's exactly what happened. They should have kept leaning on CMC, and that would have been the difference in a win for the 49ers and a loss. What do you think?
CMC had to have 180 yards combined. And then they still might not give him the MVP because Brock Purdy's sitting there. I mean, he's more than a game manager. He's a game officiator. You know, he kind of like the Reverend, getting everybody all married off, giving away Super Bowls.
So that's the game officiator. Okay, he's the Reverend. Okay, that's what we're gonna go with. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
I mean, everybody can get them licenses online, right? You can get those licenses online. You can do a little thing online. You can start marrying people off and whatnot.
Well, I guess there's a difference between good officiating and bad officiating because he officiated them right to a loss. Right to a loss.
He moved up from McDonald's to Chick-fil-A. He's the Chick-fil-A of game managers.
Oh man, I don't even know. I don't know if that's good or bad.
You can go to Chick-fil-A, and yeah, they might be the best fast food, but he still ain't ain't Ruby Tuesdays, Long Island on a Tuesday.
Hey, listen, I'm not even gonna sit here and say Chick-fil-A is the best fast food. I'm not really sure about that, but
I'm not saying like the best, but they're
no, I get what you're saying. They're amongst the tops. Yeah, I'll say this. If you're going to give him that comparison, then it has to be because they're closed on Sundays. Because he did not play his best game on Sunday. So if you want to give him that comparison, it's because they're closed on Sundays. And his game was closed on Sunday. That's the best I could do with that one. Because it's not necessarily that he had to show up and just be all world. He just had to show up and not turn the ball over.
That'd be decent.
But let CMC work. You know, Debo could not get open to save his life. They couldn't even scheme Debo open. So big ups to the Chiefs on their defense and Spags and shutting Debo down. But they still couldn't stop CMC.
That's on Shanahan because what did Debo get known for most?
Yes.
Coming across behind Brock, taking the ball and bullying them on the run defense. And guess what? The Chiefs have no what?
Run defense. You're right. Crazy part is I think they ran that play once with Debo. He picked up like 8. So
when I compared him to Shanahan, y'all was like, he's a way better coach. Yeah, he gets there and gets too cute.
Shanahan,
he's better. Shanahan. He's definitely way better than Harbaugh, but he gets there and he gets too cute. That happened with the Falcons.
Shanahan to me is the NFL's version of Mike D'Antoni. Only thing is he actually gets to the championship game. Whereas D'Antoni couldn't even get to the championship game. But Mike D'Antoni, he had the fancy offense. You know, that 3-second offense, you come down and you, whatever it was, you know, these quick scoring offense. That's all he was about. But they played no defense. 49ers do play defense. But they couldn't beat the top teams. They couldn't win a championship. That was what the story for Phoenix was. That was D'Antoni's problem. No matter where he coached at, that was the problem he had. He couldn't get the big win. And that seems to be Kyle Shanahan's problem. He can't get the big win. But I don't know if I put this, like I said earlier, I do put it on him because on those 3rd and 4s, he should have ran the ball instead of passing. So I'll say that, right? But I think the biggest mistake was on defense. You give them the ball, and then you just stop playing the defense you was playing all game, and you sat back in coverage and let them pick you apart to get downfield and scoring range. Why? Like you've been doing great all game. Why would you then sit back in coverage and let him do what he wants to do?
Got there and got too cute.
Mr. J the 6 is in the building. If y'all don't know, please check out my boy Jay. His channel's been popping. He been out here with the lives at random times. He talk about everything from football to the Jays. You know what I'm saying? Get on my boy channel, check him out ASAP. So, are you saying, what chance do you give them again back to the Super Bowl next year for the 49ers?
Nah, let it go. Let
None?
it go. They are going to Philadelphia Eagles this one. And the Eagles were messing up. They felt themselves too much. And the Eagles are gonna buy. Eagles are trying to buy championships. So they're coming back with a vengeance.
This is true. That's if. That's if.
Now, don't forget now. My man Killer Mike is now the coach of Seattle. So they was giving Seattle was giving them business before Mike got there. So you see the cornerbacks he has right now.
This is true.
He got the safeties. He still got a linebacker or two.
This is true. That actually slides me right into the next topic here. Your surprise team of next year. I think when everybody looked around the NFL this year, there was 2 teams that kind of shocked us, right, for what they became. And that was actually 3. We'll say 3, right? For the NFC, the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. And then from the AFC, the Houston Texans.
The Packers doing okay. I wasn't surprised by them at all.
I think so. For me, I think I count them as a surprise because I had them as a decent team, but I did not see them getting where they got. I didn't think it was
a surprise. How good he was a surprise. Their team, not so much.
For me, I felt like they weren't a playoff team, and they ended up being a playoff team. What team do you see as a possibility to be a surprise team to make the playoffs next year and a possible championship run?
I mean, to make a championship run, everybody's going to pick those same 8 teams. Now, a team that's surprised and make the playoffs, I go with Carolina. They're only 2 offensive linemen away from having success.
So I agree with Carolina. Where any other teams, to me, that's kind of they're on the verge. They seem to be there, but not there. And I don't know why I'm putting this much faith in them, especially after I don't trust their quarterback right now. But the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are they fell short of what they were supposed to be. And I think with a few subtle changes, that team, like that, to me, they need better wide receivers. Right? Their running back's darn good, but they don't really have that guy at wide receiver. All their starting wide receivers were number 2s and number 3s. And just went to Jacksonville, who had nobody and ended up ones, right? So let Jacksonville get one more year. I think next year they'll be in the playoffs and they'll be a big threat to me. Again, it's gonna be tough because the AFC is gonna be stacked again.
Is that with the loss of Calvin Ridley? Because I mean,
Well, that's why I said they need one or two pieces. They to me they need one or two pieces. They need that guy at wide receiver, and they don't have it. So it's going to depend on the draft, free agency, maybe trades. But I think they're a couple pieces away. And is Trevor Lawrence who we think he is? Does he have that? Can he fulfill the potential everybody thought he had as a number one pick? Right.
man, I just think he's Sunshine from Remember the Titans. That's about it.
But can he play like him? Can he win though? Can he be your
He
champion?
can play like him, but he ain't finna win. He can play like Mark Brunell, but he ain't finna win.
So you don't think the Jaguars, even with adding, say they
I
go
don't think he is that guy. And I don't think Herbert is that guy unless you can get him Randy Moss and Julian Edelman and a top 7 defense.
So interesting enough, it's very interesting that you say you don't think Herbert's that guy because there's a lot of people that think he's that guy. I made a statement.
But who else did they think that was the Charger was that guy? They thought Phillip Rivers was that guy, right?
This is true. This is true. So I made a statement that a lot of people find to be completely absurd. And the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh have hired Giro and what's his name? Trestman to run their offense. And I made a statement before they hired Trestman. When I knew they were hiring Giro, I said, listen, don't be surprised if Justin Herbert isn't their quarterback next year. I felt like there's a chance they go draft a Jaden Daniels. I said Jaden Daniels specifically to fit more of Greg Roman's scheme. And in the process of doing that, they trade Justin Herbert.
That was just
try to do a 2 QB system. But go ahead.
That was just a hire for them to try and get Roman's name popping again. They gonna give it 2 years, and then Jim will get his ass fired for hiring Roman in the first damn place. And then the Chargers will be moving on to another young head coach, possibly last name Orr.
Here's the thing. Nah. I don't think he's gonna come and go that quick. But
I said 2 years. So,
you did say 2 years. Here's the thing.
You ain't say hi to Yolanda yet. You said I do my people.
I was about to. I was gonna make my statement real quick before I forgot about it. Then I was gonna do it.
So it's because she like Owe. You saw how he do Yolanda?
That has nothing to do with it. So now that he brought it up. Hello, Miss Yolanda. I see you to change the name. She's getting ready for that channel. So
she didn't update that profile picture though. That profile picture that's back in the club.
You know what I'm saying? Life with Yolanda. Tune in. It's coming soon. She's gonna have some great content over there for you. She's gonna help you get right, whether it's with your health, but she can help you dress right, walking out the door too, looking professional. You know what I'm saying? Too. Oh, all right, yeah, that too. I wasn't okay. She's gonna keep you out of jail too. You heard what he said. So
I need some new advice.
My my true thoughts were that they were either gonna run a 2 QB system, but now they brought in Trestman. I'm guessing Trestman's gonna handle the passing, which I don't know if that's any good, but Trestman's gonna handle the passing. Giro's gonna handle the running. I can still see them kind of going with a 2 QB system, but is it Jaden Daniels or do you pick somebody up off the street?
Not take Jaden Daniels and try to do a 2 QB system, especially now with Justin Herbert, because we know the Stork ain't gonna run.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The Stork can't run, so we already know, even if you put Jaden Daniels in there, it's a 50% chance it's going to be pass. I mean, it's going to be a run or a pass. So, and that's specifically him running. So, nobody's going to really respect it. I mean, Why would you even do that when you have Austin Eckler who could just handle everything he needs to handle in the first place?
So funny thing. The only reason I bring it up is because if you go look at Jim Harbaugh coaching career in Michigan, he's always had two QBs. Um, so he used to swap. He's run last year. He ran two QBs. I forgot the I forgot their names. It slipped my mind. But I just had this whole conversation with Rodney a couple weeks ago. He ran two QBs last year. He had an African American QB and a Caucasian QB. They could both run a little bit, but obviously black QB can run a little bit better. Again, I wish I could remember their names. I might have to look it up at some point. I don't have anything to look it up right now. But he likes to run a two QB system out in Michigan. He did it for every year that I watched, right? He had one guy that was predominantly run, but he would pass the ball with him to keep the defense honest. He'd pass the ball with him. So he'd switch them in and out on pass plays and run plays just to keep the defense honest. He would even make the starter run every once in a while so he could keep the defense honest. I think he would try the same thing in the NFL. If he doesn't have a guy that can do both, I can see him kind of trying to make Justin run a little bit, and then to keep the D honest, and then putting in Jaden Daniels to do the same thing, pass and run, to keep that defense honest. So I don't think it's far-fetched. Now, I think the hard part for most people is why would they draft a quarterback in the first round, which Jaden Daniels is going to be a first-round quarterback? Why would you draft a QB in the first round to run a two QB system? Pick somebody up late or pick up a veteran that can move. What veteran quarterbacks you got that's going to run his offensive system? That's going to be a free agent. None that I can think. What you going to go get Huntley? Huntley's not going to run that offense like that. We seen what Huntley did in G-Row offense. He threw the ball 84 times a game, albeit it was off of 15 yards, but still he did it. my boy Huntley was 84 for 84 for 17 yards, so 17.5 yards, averaging 0.3 yards per pass. I'm just saying, it's all entirely possible, but
That was
it's
by the way. You ain't have to do Huntley like that. That was cruelty. You ain't have to do Huntley like that.
that was facts though. That was facts. It's not even like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even like I'm making it up. It's pure facts.
But did you have to
So
do it? No. You
I
could
did have to do it.
you could let my
I
boy
did have
slide.
to do it. No, I couldn't. I couldn't because Huntley made me angry. He made me angry. He makes a lot of dumb decisions. He made me very angry. But it is what it is.
Huntley had you on your Incredible Hulk, huh?
Yo, I'm just saying, don't act like we ain't all still feeling it from a couple years ago when we could have beat the Bengals in the playoffs.
You got
You know what
Yolanda
I'm saying?
lying in the chat. Look at Yolanda lying in the chat.
Uh-oh. What she
You were
say?
bored.
Oh Lord, she just wanted to name change, huh? That's what it is. Also, you not doing the channel now, you saying. So you backing out on your word again. You know what? I'm gonna let it go. Anyway, I like the Chargers. I like their potential. That team is actually very stacked. Although Quentin Johnston isn't as good as a lot of people thought he was gonna be, that boy be dropping the ball left and right. Remember, everybody wanted Quentin Johnston last year. Everybody. That man been dropping the ball like it ain't nothing.
Oh, you hear that? Life with Stream coming soon.
Yeah, yes, I believe it. I believe it 100%. Very soon, right? Right, Miss Yolanda? Very, very soon. Very, very, very soon.
In a couple hours.
I've actually been trying to work on a few things on my end for a while, but I'm not going to discuss it yet because I don't know when it'll be able to happen. But we'll see. Maybe your boy's trying to upgrade.
Are you trying to say you don't want to be like Yolanda and tell a fib?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't want to say something and then not be able to follow through on it. Want to keep it a buck with everybody and be right where it is.
A little rough out here for Yolanda, ain't it?
So I said I was gonna get us out of here quick tonight. So I'm gonna get on to our last subject here.
Yep. Turnabout is fair play. I love saying that. Preach, Hendo.
Was the Deadpool release of the trailer, was that bigger than the Super Bowl itself? I know in my eyes, I'm not gonna lie to you, that was my favorite part of the night.
Well, as a person who didn't watch a single second of the Super Bowl.
Okay. So you caught just the highlights.
No, I didn't even watch the highlights. Who you lying to?
Okay, my bad. I didn't lie at all.
I ain't watched the highlights. Who you lying to? If y'all, whatever y'all said in the Discord is as far as I knew what was going on in that game.
he's like, listen, y'all told me what was happening. I stuck with that.
Look. Listen, Linda. Listen. I walked around Miami playing Pokemon Go. I didn't even look at a TV screen in the bar.
That's bad. That's rough. But I watched the game.
They had no interest. You said Deadpool trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Get Pokemon Go. This is nice.
That Deadpool trailer.
I didn't see a second of the Super Bowl, but I saw the trailer. As soon as you said the Deadpool trailer.
He's like, hold up. They showed that. Listen, that Deadpool
boy, I was on YouTube right then and there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that thing had me lit, boy. So I'm extremely excited for this movie now. And I thought there were several ways they were going to go with this, but to include the TVA, spoiler alert for those who didn't see it, but for them to include the TVA, you had multiple versions of Wolverine in there. It was just, it was awesome. It was awesome. And I love the scene where the clips were in the air and he flipped the guns upside down and caught them and then double cocked them to keep. Yo, listen. That's got my name written all over it. I'm about to start training. Let me go empty my clips out. Just start throwing my mags in the air.
It would be convenient for it to happen if you take the bullets out.
You know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm just saying I gotta do it safely, right? Once I get it down packed, then I can put the bullets back in it.
Yeah, it's called don't cock the gun.
Hey man, still I don't want to be every time I miss I lose a bullet and shit. No, I'm good. I'm gonna take the bullets out and I'll practice that way.
So you plan on missing?
I'm not talking about the shooting. I'm talking about catching the clip.
Where's the confidence?
My hand-eye coordination ain't always where it need to be. You see what I'm saying? So I can't just assume that I'm gonna put. No, I can't assume I'm gonna make that. My hand-eye coordination be off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen.
You put that up, but you ain't put what I put up? Wow.
Listen, I couldn't put up what you put up. That was crazy. You would have got to be canceled.
Canceled on what? By who? The Purple Patrol? The Purple Patrol don't like you anyway.
That's facts. They don't like me anyway. You're right. That is 100% fact right there. No, but so my favorite part of the trailer. First off, I love how he acknowledges, he breaks the third wall, right? Where he looks at the camera and makes statements. I absolutely love that. But my favorite part of the trailer had to be, other than the gun part, had to be I wanted to automatically. Huh?
The actual inclusion of X-Men in the trailers?
That was a big part of it. I was thinking the part at the end where Wolverine came out, put his claws up, but it's actually the one where he's walking in the building and it looks like a gambling table. They're at a gambling table, and you see
Or
the back
Galloway.
of Wolverine and the white tux. Patch Wolverine, because he's got the patch over one eye and whatnot, but you can't see it from that angle. But you know what I'm talking about. We got Mr. Galloway in the building, hip hop extraordinaire. All right, this man's a future legend in the game.
Did you get clarification on your question earlier?
What question?
The Jay-Z.
Oh
Dame
no, I did not. I
Dash.
did not. Hendo said he was gonna. I believe Hendo said he's gonna look into it. And I think Hendo said him and Dre are gonna look into it. So
Uh-oh.
I did not get clarification yet, but that was pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, I was
I
like,
found that to be.
wow.
Yeah, I found that to
So
be
now,
real interesting.
can we trust Meek Mill? Because now he
That's what
tied
I'm
in.
saying. This thing can run deep. So I don't know. I don't
Look,
know. That's why I
Meek
asked
been
him.
out of trouble since then. Meek ain't even got caught breathing on nobody too hard.
Exactly. So this thing can run deep. So I was like, I don't know. Let me ask them. Let them look into it. But that was my favorite. So that was my favorite part of the trailer because you see that Wolverine, but I think the key is sitting across from him. Who is that sitting across from him that he's covering their body perfectly? Bro, I think we're about to get Gambit in the Marvel universe. Gambit is one of my favorite of all time. I
They
think
can't.
we're
Don't
about
do
to get
that.
Gambit.
Don't do that. Because
I
I'll be
think
in the
we're
movie.
about
I'll
to
be
get
in the movie.
Remy
Look,
LeBeau.
I'm gonna go from one version of Deadpool. And I'm gonna walk across the movie theater to the other show that's showing Deadpool and watch it again. They be like, "Have you been home? Have you been home?
Listen,
You came in on Friday. It's Sunday. Have you been home?"
nah. I've been sleeping in the theater. Listen. I would be stoked to get Remy LeBeau.
Look, if they let Channing Tatum play goddamn Remy LeBeau, I'm boycotting everything.
Bro, they keep bringing him up as the option. I would prefer. Which X-Men movie was it? It was one of the X-Men movie that had a Gambit in it, and I'd
It was
take that
Wolverine
kid.
Origins.
Yeah, I'd take that kid. Give me that kid. Let him do it. All right, let him do it.
Man, the
Anybody
kid
but
no more.
Channing
That
Tatum.
man
I really don't
that
want
man
Channing
older
Tatum.
than us.
I can't have Channing Tatum in there. I'll take anybody as Gambit except Channing Tatum.
That's because Channing
But
Tatum did that fan version joint just like old boy did the fan version of Deadpool. That's why
yeah,
people
but
are praising. If you look it up, Channing Tatum made his own little
yeah,
trailer if he was
yeah,
Gambit.
I know. But they also were rumored to give him a Gambit role. I think it was a year or so ago, and it got canceled. So
Yeah, they got pressure from fans just like the Deadpool thing to do it, but then they were like, yeah, we don't really. They basically realized if they were going to make the movie, they weren't going to be able to do it properly, so they were like, yeah, we'll just wait. They didn't want the
so
Edward Norton version of Hulk.
so Jay says something here. You better have the Creole. It's facts. You can't have Remy LeBeau without the accent. And then he says he thinks Quicksilver is going to be in the movie too. Um, Quicksilver is an option to be in there. I don't see why you wouldn't put him in there for what you're doing. It seems like they're going to have a lot of the former actors in there from the Fox films and whatnot, and it's kind of especially with him talking to the TVA. And I know you've seen the scene where he's looking at all the Marvel heroes. You see Iron Man, you see Thor, all of them. You see the Hulk. When he sees Captain America, I don't know if you noticed, but he saluted Captain America. That's a sign of respect, unless he said something funny with it. But they don't show him saying anything at that point in time. But they show him saluting Captain America. So it's like, and another thing, when he said, "I'm Marvel Jesus," I fell on the floor, bro. I fell on the floor. He said, he was talking about being the hero. He said, "I'm Marvel Jesus." When he said that, I was in tears. I absolutely loved it. I cannot wait for this movie. It's going to be a phenomenal movie. and the uplift that Marvel has been dying for. Because honestly, the last couple series they put out were not that great. Um, they fumbled the bag with Echo, and then
I
as we
changed
all
my
know,
mind on that. By the way, you tried. You tried really really terribly, but you tried.
I tried, and then Secret Invasion was kind of that was a huge letdown. So it's looking like there's going to be set up for Secret Wars though, Avengers Secret Wars. So that should be good. They're leaning towards Kang still. I seen they had Pyro in there too. I don't know if you've seen Pyro. He was sitting there. He had the goggles, like the big circle goggles around his neck. Looked like his classic Pyro uniform. So Pyro's there. Um, I wonder if we're going to see, you know, I mean, I got questions upon questions of who we are going to get. And I guess the main villain is going to be they showed a scene towards the end where they showed a bald lady in a chair. I believe it's supposed to be, and I think she's gonna end up being the villain of the whole thing. But she's supposed to be Professor X's sister. Remember, Professor X was born with a twin sister, who they basically battled and tried to kill each other as babies. So I believe that's who the main villain is going to end up being in this movie, but it's going to be phenomenal.
They was saying it's going to take a long time to do Secret Wars, but I think that's why they save Secret Wars for when most of these guys are pretty much out of their contracts because Secret Wars is going to take like over 6 years to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's so they're shooting for. They had it on a timeline when they wanted it done. I forgot what it was, but they're looking at trying to get it done soon. But this movie is a great way to introduce maybe new actors to play certain characters, um, and kind of see the old ones go. So you get your farewell to the originals, you get your hello to the new ones. I think there's a chance we maybe get a younger Wolverine. Um, I don't know how I would feel about it, but we may get a new Wolverine in this.
Marvel's Secret Wars is supposed to be for May 2027. So yeah, they're gonna have to renew and recast a few people because yeah.
Yeah, you got Captain America 4. It is right. I think it's the fourth Captain America movie coming out. That's coming out soon too.
Yeah.
So they got some work to do. But this one is going to be the one that sets it all up. Oh, hold on. All right, there we go. Yeah, this is gonna be the one that sets it all up. Um, Jay says X-23.
Secret Wars took them a year to write. So yeah, it's gonna take them a few years to film.
Mr. Galloway said we need a new Wolverine because the other dude is super old. Yeah, he's getting up there. Hugh Jackman is getting up there, but he still looks phenomenal in those Wolverine roles. And he's the only Wolverine we ever know and we ever knew. So I'm like I'm
55.
I'm in I got a mixed bag. You know what I mean? It's like, dang man, I've only seen one dude play Wolverine. I don't know how I feel about a new one. Like that might hurt.
We need a black Wolverine because the guy can be like 60 and he'll still look like he's in his 30s or 40s. So, you know what I mean? I'm just right here. I mean, I got the hair to do it. So, yeah.
Oh, so you're auditioning for the role, is what you're saying?
I mean,
Can you get your hair done like that though? With the, you know what I'm saying? Can you get the?
hey, them dreads can stick together now.
So you heard it here first. All right, my co-host, Mr. Ghost here, is gonna audition for the next Wolverine role. You heard it here first. That's breaking news, y'all. That's breaking news. Get my boy in there. Hugh Jackman will forever be Wolverine. He's not Spider-Man. You can't just keep putting a new actor with Wolverine. That's true. That's true. You know what? It's only one other character I really feel that way about. and that's
Benjamin
well
Button.
actually no, I was I was gonna say Iron Man. I don't think I don't know how I will feel about another Iron Man because that role fit him so well for not only the Tony Stark character, but it fit him as a person. Robert Downey Jr. has so much going on outside of acting that role as the arrogant, cocky party guy who it
The drug
fit him.
user, the
Yeah,
alcoholic
the drug.
user, everything that
Yeah,
we've seen him go through was Tony Stark.
yes, that was Tony Stark. So for me, that's the other role where I'm like, now you can't have nobody else be even like. I know a lot of people was like, oh, it's gonna be hard to recast for Black Panther, and I can see another black man being Black Panther, but I can't. Will he be as good? Maybe not, right? But I could see somebody else play the role. Iron Man,
The only
nobody's
person gone through that
embodied that
much,
role like him.
look, only person gone through that much partying and whatnot is Paris Hilton.
Oh man, imagine, imagine next Iron Man movie, it's Paris Hilton in the suit. Oh Lord, that
And
might work.
that's the only person who did more drinking and smoking and whatever else she did than Robert Downey Jr.
So this is another one that was huge that just came up. I believe they finalized who their Fantastic Four actors and actresses will be. So that movie's coming up.
Did you get all the pronouns right, or you gonna get canceled for that too?
Listen, I got them
You
right.
forgot
I got
about the
them correct.
non-binary
Oh, you right.
performance.
You right. Well, no. Well, yeah, I did. Huh? What would you call that though? For
Non-binary
like,
performers.
I guess, but you don't really call actors and actresses performers, do we? I don't know, man. That's we're not having that conversation now. We gonna I'm not getting canceled for that conversation.
You might
Um.
get canceled for
So
avoiding the conversation.
so listen. Well, no, I'm avoiding the conversation because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to be wrong.
You should be well read and well versed.
So back to what I was saying. You're making me lose my train of thought here. Oh, the Fantastic Four. Now, Jay makes a comment here. They better get Doctor Doom right. I don't think they should have Doctor Doom be their first villain.
I always thought that was stupid because if you think about the Fantastic Four, like they came back and they had the thing. They didn't immediately find out they knew had all these powers. Like he hated them for a while before he popped up. Like, oh, we just got our powers. We're gonna face one of the strongest guys in all of Marvel. Yeah, that don't make sense.
Well, you got Doctor Doom, the original backstory of Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four. They actually all got their powers at the same time, but they hated each other in college. So it can work, but it shouldn't because you want Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom was one of the leaders, actually the leader and reason for the Secret Wars. So you want to hold off and build his character so that's something worthy of Secret Wars. You want a worthy villain. Like you want him to be, because of everything that happened with Jonathan Majors, you want him to be a bigger villain than Kang. Okay? You want to have it where Kang is looking like, oh crap, that's Doctor Doom. Like he next level. But in order to do that, you cannot come out with a Fantastic Four movie and have him be their first villain because then he gets defeated by the Fantastic Four, who everybody, I think, hands down, is probably the weakest group in all of Marvel heroes. So you can't have him do it. So you have to find one of your other villains, have him, and then, you know, work on Doctor Doom in the background of the movie. Maybe
So
mention him, bring him in a couple times, have people under him fighting the Fantastic Four.
What I was getting to, and I had to look it up to make sure. Fantastic Four, Volume 1, The Mole Men and His Moloids. Volume 2, The Skrulls. Volume 3, Miracle Man. Volume 4, Namor the Submariner. It wasn't until Volume 5 that they created Doctor Doom to be the villain. Like they had been together before. Like he wasn't the first person they ever faced. In all
Yeah,
the
no, I
movies,
know.
he's the first person they ever faced. And it's like, come on, bro. Like you have a list of guys you could go through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree on that.
Puppet
100%.
Master, Impossible Man. You could go with either one of those. Molecule Man,
Yeah,
Tuma,
just even if you want to bring back the whole Silver Surfer plot and try to make that work, do
Ronan the
anything
they got
but
Ronan, Annihilus.
Ronan the Accuser.
That would be a serious villain for them to face in the movie. Annihilus, the negative zone.
Yeah,
That would be visually that'd be crazy.
yeah, it's all up to they have to Disney. I mean Marvel or Disney too, same thing. They have to be smart enough to know Doctor Doom is our future past Kang. We need somebody bigger and better than Kang because they've already made Kang look like he's easy to defeat. You had him lose to Ant-Man. Once you did that, you had no real plans for Kang other than once he lost to Ant-Man, it was like, okay, that's not the big bad Kang then because he lost to Ant-Man. So there's
Well,
another one out there.
that's one. Well, so the thing with Kang is Kang has like thousands of versions of himself, and the thousands of versions of himself found the other thousand versions. So they're like at war to see who's the best Kang. So the Kang that Ant Man beat was just the Kang who was trying to come to our dimension and build something so that he could go back and take on the other versions of himself.
Yeah, well,
So that
but
Kang
they try to
that Kang, yeah, the Kang we experienced was just like the prequel Kang. This is the guy who realized he couldn't go head up with everybody else.
yeah, that's what they made him out to be through the Loki series. But when in that Ant-Man movie, they explained him as, hey, they couldn't beat me, so they joined up together to lock me away down here. That was his whole
Yeah, but
explanation in the movie.
that was that Kang versus them.
Yeah,
That
no, I
wasn't
know.
that was the Kang that got locked down there by Ant Man and them. That wasn't the Kang that fought the other Kangs that came out victorious.
Well, he was
Because the
supposed to
Kang,
be. Remember, because early in the movie, remember he was down there before Ant-Man and him was down there. And he got locked in. If you go back in the movie, he says he was locked away by his other halves because they couldn't defeat him one on one. So they teamed up to lock him away because they didn't want him to take over. So then he found Janet and was trying, or not Janet. Her name, what is her name? It is Janet, isn't it? I don't know. But he found her and he was trying to find a way for him to get out until she found out who he was. Now, when they ended up back in there, they ended up when he was coming out, they ended up locking him in there again permanently. But the whole reason he was down there in the first place was because of the other kings. So they were trying to build him to be that guy. And then they had him lose to Ant-Man, which that was the first mistake they made, was making him lose to Ant-Man. The second was not finding a way for him to break out during the Loki series, which obviously they ended up shifting what they wanted to do with him during the Loki series because everything that happened behind the scenes with Jonathan Majors. So with them wanting to shift actors, they didn't even know if they wanted to keep him as the main bad guy for upcoming movies. They were going to shift to Doctor Doom, which I felt it would have been a terrible time to do, but they made him seem so minuscule after when they did the Loki series and the way they ended it, that alternate ending they ended up doing, they made it seem like, okay, well, the TVA's set for him. We know how this goes. Um, Victor Timely's dead. The other one's lost in space, and now they're investigating and arresting and killing all the Kangs. So it's like he's pointless to be a big bad now.
yeah, even if they try to arrest and kill all the Kangs, eventually there's no way they're gonna get all of them. The Kangs come across the entire multiverse. Like, there's nobody's going to be acutely aware of absolutely all of them, unless you get
Yeah,
Franklin Richards
that's what
and
they were talking
can
about possibly using next.
you you no 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 nope nope not gonna work. You're talking
Yeah.
about a kid that could just on his fingertip could create a pocket universe with trillions of life in it just because he
Hmm.
thinks about it. What you gonna do to beat him? What you gonna do?
That's what they were thinking about doing next. That's one of the
What you
moves
gonna
they
do?
were thinking about
Find
doing.
another Franklin Richards and try and pit them against each other?
That's what the TVA gonna use Deadpool for in this movie. Go through and get things right. He's the only one that can stop him, right? That's what the story's gonna be. Something crazy like that. And I'm that's what scares me, right? That's the thing that scares me about Marvel is where are they going to go after this Deadpool? And I don't
It
know.
just doesn't
I
make
want to see what
sense.
they set up.
You have beings who can just think of something and it happens, and you really think the Eternals couldn't even do anything. Like, he could literally just think. He doesn't have to snap. He could just think and you would disappear. Like, in the story, he's too OP. Like, even if you got Blue Marvel couldn't do anything because he'd just be you never existed. Blue Marvel's gone in the story.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. It'll be interesting. Jay says the Eternals would need to step in at that point. The Eternals are done for. Like I don't think they could step in if they wanted to.
Franklin Richards is like he could just be like the Infinity Stones never existed. Like, the
Yeah.
Infinity Stones combined don't have as much power as he has,
Well,
and that's
that's what
not
the
even him
TVA
fully
did, right?
powered.
That's what
But
the
that's not even him
TVA
fully
did.
powered. His base, basically at his base power, which is why he's so OP. At his base power, he could think. He thinks of things and it happens. Like, he doesn't have the effort of I want I want this. Like, he thinks of things and it happens. That's his base. That's like his base form. That's on his lower spectrum of power.
So, just to point out what Jay said real quick, he said, by the way, the giant hand and head that's just sticking out of the stratosphere better get explained. So, oh, we gotta say what up. I'm assuming that's Jose. Lunch Break Hot Take, one of the greatest shows on YouTube every Wednesday, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. Go check them out. The brothers drop hot fire every week. So, talking about the big hand and head, right? That is possibly going to be used as the new Avengers Tower. And they've said so many different things. I've heard so many different rumors where they're like, "Oh, it's going to be used as the new Avengers Tower. It's going to be one of the reasons they use for Galactus to come and try to attack the Earth." I don't know. I don't know. They have not acknowledged that thing sticking up since it happened. Since the Eternals movie, we haven't seen a single thing about it. I think it's maybe been mentioned in one of the movies, not like verbally mentioned, but written on a piece of paper as something like something they've seen or and is looking into, but it's never actually been talked about. So, what do you do about it? For now, he's right. There's just a giant hand and head sticking up out of the earth, frozen in place that nobody's questioning in any way, shape, or form. Also, what happened to Avengers Tower or Tony Stark's office? What happened to Stark Tower? Is that being taken over by Fisk? Is Wilson Fisk gonna move there, or like what are we doing? Is the Fantastic Four gonna use it? to be their home base. Like, there's a lot of questions that have to be answered.
As far as the comic books will probably read into as Avengers Tower. Remember, he gave what's her name a suit,
Mm-hmm.
but there is also Ironheart, who is I think she's a 12 or 13-year-old black girl who finds some of Tony
Mm-hmm.
Stark's equipment and basically brings it back and creates a suit of her own. So I don't know if they're gonna do like a patching the torch type thing where she meets Pepper Potts and whatnot, and I guess Pepper kind of mentors her and lets her basically run around there and absorb as much as she can, and do her little improvement thing on her own suit, and then eventually she kind of grows into the role, or I don't know.
Well, she's already built her own suit because that was her in Black Panther too. So she's already. They had her in college in that when she was building her first suit. She was
Right,
already
but she
flying
hasn't.
around being a vigilante and whatnot. But she's not up to no. She's not up to that level yet. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying she's gonna work her way up there. Like they may, you know, she may meet her somehow after the whole Black Panther 2 thing, and it'd be like, oh, well, and she'll explain, I guess which one of his suits that she found, and they kind of become friends, and they kind
Yeah.
of grow her into the role, pretty much.
So there's been talks of the Young Avengers, and she was supposed to be one of those Young Avengers. I don't know if
In the
that's
current
something
books,
they'll do soon.
in the current book, her Kamala Khan, I don't know why I can't remember the other two, are the Young Avengers already, but they
Yeah,
always get in trouble trying to save other planets and save other planets, and they really go and mess stuff up, and you know just being young kids running around with too much power.
yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna go about it, but I know they're gonna get it done. It'll be interesting to see though. I'm all here for it, and I'm excited, man. Deadpool has got me extremely excited, and to see I don't know if you noticed, but Deadpool dropped the first ever F bomb in a Disney commercial. Right? None of the Marvel movie commercials has ever had a curse word in it. His trailer dropped the F bomb. You know what I'm saying?
So
So Deadpool's
I do
changed
need
the
to
game.
ask you something though. What's an obscure character that nobody's going to name in mass that you need a movie out of?
That I need a movie out of? A character that nobody's gonna name in mass. That I need a movie out of. Hmm. From Marvel or DC? Just Marvel?
I got one from Marvel. I got one from DC.
Okay, from Marvel. Uh that's a tough one. That is a very tough one for me. I'm going to say actually I'm gonna need some time on that one. I'm gonna need some time on that one. DC, you already know who it is. I ain't even gotta say his name. You already know who it is. Jonah Hex. Yo, Jonah Hex. Bring him back again for a good one. Give me a good one. But for Marvel, Silver Surfer. I'm gonna say Silver Surfer. A lot of people don't know or care about Silver Surfer in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna go Silver Surfer.
I'm gonna give you one. You probably don't even know who this is. From DC, of course, Nubia.
Nubia. I know that name. Hold on.
I've
I
mentioned it
know that
before.
name.
I've mentioned it before. Rodney would have had the answer by now. His Google be
I know that.
popping.
I can't Google anything. I told you my computer's down, and I don't have my.
Just
I don't know where I
just
set my
as
phone.
Princess Diana was made from white clay, Nubia, her black sister, was made from black clay, who is actually more powerful than Wonder Woman. She was actually kidnapped by Ares first because he realized she was stronger.
Yeah, but where? I just saw that somewhere. I just saw that name somewhere. Where was it? It might not have been DC related though. I just saw it somewhere and I can't. It's bugging me. I just saw it somewhere though. That's a good one though. That's a good one. What about from Marvel?
From Marvel, now my first one was always I always wanted to see them do more with Isaiah Bradley, and they
Uh huh.
did a little bit with it. And what is that? And the Captain America, Falcon, and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That was the black guy that they went to visit, and he basically was like, I don't want nothing to do with the country anymore because he basically was the only other person who took the Captain America serum and it didn't like deform him or anything like that. And he went back and saved some people, so they gave him a dishonorable discharge from the military.
Yeah.
Sounds ridiculous because we saw Captain America do it every other 5 minutes, but it is what it is. But anyways, but Blue Marvel, like a guy who is basically the same scientific abilities, if not more, than what's his name, Mister Fantastic, Stretch himself,
Yeah.
and his powers are just OP. Like Ben Grimm might want to run. Doctor Doom
So
might want to get up out the way.
that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons I picked Silver Surfer, right? Because I felt like he could have dropped. He could have dropped Thanos in 2 seconds, along with anybody else. Just like just thinking about it. But I guess another one. You know what character is also often overlooked, and I think they could expand on him and make a great character. The Archangel. Remember Archangel? I remember him in from obviously he was with the X Men and whatnot. He wasn't a member of the X Men, but he he had the wings and it was just regular wings in the comics. But then he got taken over. He ended up working for what's his name? Um, I forgot his name. Apocalypse. Apocalypse got a hold of him. He ended up turning his wings metal, and he was able to shoot stuff out of him. I liked Archangel, man.
I said, see, one of the reasons I said Blue Marvel is
It was
because
good,
he's
D.
actually so strong that he was taking on the Avengers by himself, and basically like Sentry had to separate himself to gain enough power to help the Avengers beat him. So
Yeah,
he was taking on Sentry and the Avengers by himself. So you would have to have one hell of a task force,
yeah.
like to even be like, yeah, I ain't even in the mood to fight this guy right now. Can y'all find somebody else?
What's good, sir? Hope you having a good night as well. I agree, but on the same hand, that kind of backs the story of the Avengers were pretty weak to me. I told you, like any other, the X Men would have destroyed. Like, look what happened to the Avengers versus Thanos. The X Men would have wrecked Thanos from the word go. He'd have been done for.
Pieces of biscuits, no drink,
You know what I'm saying?
Popeye special.
You know what I'm saying? No drink. He'd have been done for. But that's just my thoughts. But I'm gonna get us up out of here. We've been here for over an hour. Good, strong stream. Um, so we're gonna get up out of here. Everybody, I thank y'all for stopping through. We love y'all. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I believe my co-host has a story I need to check out. Am I correct about that? Mm-hmm. 86ghost.com. I think that's it, right?
I thought you
Right.
said a story. I was like, yeah, it's a couple things happening in Miami, boy. Went to the
Oh, we
Versace
go.
mansion, had a
Oh,
little
you got a
meal.
channel for that. You got a channel for that. You gotta say it's gonna be story time with ghosts.
Habla
Can't
español.
wait for that. Yeah, yeah. All right, it's gonna be story time with ghosts. Let me learn how to say it in Spanish so I can say it for you so you understand it. But it's gonna be story time with ghosts. We can't wait for that. Y'all heard it here first. Story time with ghosts coming soon on 86 Ghosts at YouTube. Um, as for me, living big with Big Reg here on YouTube, X, and TikTok. And go check out the store. Etsy.com/, living big with Big Reg. I got some fire merch over there for you. Guaranteed to make you feel good when you slip it on. Just saying. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We thank y'all for coming through. We love y'all. Yeah. We love y'all. And stay blessed. Peace.